I'm Justin DePago. We're in the kitchen of my 1915 craftsman style house. This will be the first kitchen project in here. The master bedroom upstairs is not finished, but it's functional and it's comfortable. So it's time to spread out a little bit and do a few projects to make the rest of the house a little more comfortable and a little more functional. And the first of those things is a kitchen island, which will live right about here, but it'll be on wheels so I can roll it away. So in order to get that done, we're heading out into the shop. To make the top of the island, I'm going to make it out of plywood. I was going to get some sheets of plywood and cut them down. I like to use those job boards, project boards of plywood. They're basically a quarter sheet of plywood. It's already cut. They're more expensive than getting a sheet of plywood, but the cuts are already done for you. And I don't have a track saw. I don't have a cabinet saw where I can do big sheets of plywood and stuff. So it's easier to use these project boards, 2 feet by 4 feet. I was going to get those sheets and then I was going to cut them in half so that I could have 2-foot square pieces. Turns out that you can get 2-foot square pieces. Again, you pay more. This is $1 more than it would be to get the 2x4 piece, but basically you're paying $1. I got 3 of these and they're all identical. Paying $1 more per piece so that they can all be perfect. To me, that's worth it because time is money and it saved me a lot of time. So I got those, and then to make the top will be 2 sandwiched together with a hole cut in them to sweep trash into. And for the hole, I got a piece of flashing, and I So the glue up for the top of the island is done now. And this should all be ready. This should all be ready to undo. So now imagine you're chopping on the cutting board here, and then you can just sweep stuff into the trash down the chute. So now, based on the top, I'm going to cut all of my steel to create the carcass underneath it. I could have cut the steel first, knowing what heights and lengths I wanted everything to be, and then made the top. But I prefer to make the top first and then back everything else into it based on what the actual dimensions of the top are, not what they should be. So I'll do more scribing than I will be doing measuring. Okay, so the top is going to be trimmed out with angle iron. This is upside down now, and I have each one of these pieces cut. Cutting 45s in angle iron is a pain in the butt, for me anyway, because my saw will turn to a 45, but only in one direction. And so you've got to turn it, you got to turn the angle iron one way and turn it the other, because if it was square tube or square stock or round even, it wouldn't matter what the orientation of it is, but because it's angle iron, it complicates things. But having said that, it's done. Each one of these pieces is cut, and now it's just a question of getting them welded in place. And then based on the dimensions of that, everything else comes into place. So that's what the edge band is going to look like. And now I've got to figure out how big or small the base has to be in order to not interfere with this. I could come all the way into here on this orientation, but not on this one. So it looks like I'm going to go about, all right, I got to measure that. I hate actually measuring things. So the inside frame is going to be 22 3/4 inches. So now I've got more steel to cut for a top and for a bottom. Okay, all this is done so far, and I need to cut the uprights, support and create the body of the carcass. This top is going to be at counter height. Counter height is 36 inches. That's standard. I can't just cut those legs to 36 inches though, because there's all of this stuff. So what I'm going to do is, that'll go like that. There'll be stretchers between these, and then the casters will go right there. That's 8 inches. 36 minus 8 is 28. All right, so I need 4 28-inch angle iron legs. I can do that. The fact that I don't need any clamps to get this last piece in, that it just slides right in, that tells me that this is pretty square, so I'm pretty happy with that. There's just a lot more welding that I didn't show you. I welded the trim piece around the top. It's upside down now, and I've been welding these casters on. And there's really no reason to show you all of that, except I wanted to show you this. When I'm putting the casters on, they're not flushed up to the edge. I pushed them back a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch. And the reason for that is, as the weld builds up, I don't want that bead of weld to come right up to the edge. I want to be able to grind it back, so I've just offset this just a little bit to account for that. Now it needs skin. This top needs to get finished. The whole thing needs to get burnished so that it looks nice. Moving right along. All right, here's one thing about working with metal, especially sheet metal, is it's hot. I want to get this out of the sun as quickly as I can. So I'm going to cut that out. Use this one as a template, and then cut out 2 more. I'm only going to cut out 2 more because the other side is going to be a door, and that'll have different dimensions. All right. I have all those pieces of sheet in there. If I tried to weld the sheet to this, I'm just going to blow right through the sheet and just make a bunch of holes in it. It'll end up being really weak. Well, the answer is splines. All right, this is rigid foam insulation. This is going to line the inside of the box. I wanted to get some insulation into the floor, just for sound. And that has already improved the way that thing sounds rolling around. Now, I want to work on the door. All right, I wrote that down. That's the door. I just got to weld some hinges onto it and then weld that to the piece. We're really, really close to done. We're really close to done. Close to done. I lay the thing down. I welded onto the inside. I'm going to call that an experiment that I learned from, and instead I'm going to put the hinges on the outside instead of on the inside. I wanted it to have a clean look. With the hinges on the inside, it was too clean. It was kind of featureless. And these hinges are going to melt. They're going to get kind of messed up with the weld, and I think that's going to give some character to the outside, because it just looked like a tin box, like maybe a piece of HVAC or something. So these hinges will go on the outside now, so I'm redoing that. And I've got it set up on the table like so. Okay, obviously it's not done, but it's respectable enough that I've been using it in the kitchen and not making it sleep in the barn overnight. And it's really already very useful, but also by having it in there and using it, I'm realizing the things that it needs. I need to put a latch on the door, and just like I did with these hinges, giving it a rougher kind of look, I'm going to find some ways to liven this up. I'm going to put a towel bar on it, or handles, or something like that. I'm going to start with putting a latch on it. And now I'm going to create a sort of push handle slash towel bar that goes all the way around. Back in the kitchen now because it's raining outside and we're almost done. Sanding sponge, dust free. Stain it. Alright, so now I'm going to line the inside with this insulation. I haven't tried cutting this stuff with scissors before, but I thought, what the heck? I'm not sure it's saving me any time. Maybe a bigger pair of scissors. Okay, we're done. Chop stuff up and sweep it right down the chute. Cover it up. I can roll it out of the way when I need to. However, I don't think I'm going to roll it out of the way. It doesn't take up too much space. It's basically a 2-foot square that it takes up in terms of its footprint. But if I need to, when I do roll it around with all that insulation inside, obviously you can hear it, but it doesn't boom and echo. And it also doesn't give that crumpling kind of sheet steel kind of sound to it either. So yeah. Here it is, brand new kitchen island. If you like this project, then please like this video and share it. That'll really help me out with YouTube. And also, you can keep track of my progress here in 1915 house, in the kitchen, in the master suite, in the lair. We'll get to the lair. So subscribe to my channel to see that. Follow me on social media and see the things that don't end up as videos. The links are all down below in my description. And until next time, thanks, and we'll see you next time. I'm losing my light, but I'm so close to done that I don't want to stop.